In a small village surrounded by the majestic mountains of ancient India, there lived a young man named Liang. Liang was a warrior once renowned for his strength and courage, but over the years, he had begun to feel a deep emptiness within himself. His victorious battles, which had once brought him glory and honor, could no longer fill his heart. Every day, he sat under a large banyan tree, far from the life of the village, staring at the horizon with a melancholic gaze. The outside world seemed distant, and inside him there was a sense of loss that he could not explain. Curious to find out how Liang will overcome this feeling of emptiness? Stay with us to learn about his incredible inner journey. One day, some of the villagers noticed that Liang was no longer the same. He no longer trained with the same dedication. He did not participate in the celebrations, and his fighting spirit seemed to have died. Worried, they decided to turn to a wise man, the old master Kavi, known throughout the village for his wisdom and compassion. Kavi lived in a hut near the river and spent his days meditating and teaching the young people the principles of spiritual life. If you like this type of story, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on other inspiring stories. When the villagers told Kavi about Liang's change, the sage nodded gravely. Liang is facing a different battle now, Kavi said in a calm voice. It is not a physical battle, but a battle of the soul. His spirit is in turmoil, and only he can find the way to inner peace. So, Kavi decided to speak to Liang personally. He went under the banyan tree where the young warrior sat alone, and without saying a word sat down beside him. For a few minutes they sat in silence, watching the wind gently move the leaves of the tree and the water of the river flowing in the distance. After a while, Kavi spoke, his voice a whisper that blended with the sounds of nature. Liang, I notice that your heart is heavy. What troubles your spirit? Liang, initially surprised by the sage's presence, turned to him with a sad look. Master Kavi, I feel empty. I no longer find joy in the things that once gave me strength. The battles I fought no longer make sense, and the world around me seems oppressive. I feel as if I no longer have a purpose. Kavi listened intently, her face serene and emotionless, but her eyes reflected deep understanding. Every living being faces this kind of emptiness at some point, Liang. It's a sign that your spirit is searching for something deeper, something beyond external battles. What you seek is not in the external world, but within yourself. Have you ever felt like Liang, searching for a deeper purpose? Leave a comment and tell us about your experience. Liang lowered his gaze, feeling the weight of Kavi's words. But how can I find what is within me? Everything seems so dark and confusing. Kavi smiled slightly. There is a path that can lead you to the light within. It is the Noble Eightfold Path, taught by the Buddha, a path that leads to liberation from suffering. But it requires dedication, patience, and a deep will to transform. Liang's eyes lit up with hope for the first time in a long time. Master, what is this path? I am ready to learn. Kavi began to explain calmly and simply. The Noble Eightfold Path is made up of 8 practices that, if followed sincerely, can bring you profound transformation. The first step is right view, understanding that suffering is part of life, but that there is a way out. The second step is right intention, cultivating thoughts of compassion and kindness, letting go of hatred and the desire to control. The third is right speech, speaking truthfully and kindly, avoiding causing harm with your words. Then there is right action, acting ethically and justly, avoiding harming others. Are you also looking for a path of inner transformation? Try meditating on these words and discover how the Noble Eightfold Path can help you. Liang listened intently, each word seeming to resonate within him, as if the wise Kavi was touching deep chords in his spirit. Master, how can I begin? I feel so lost. Kavi placed a hand on Liang's shoulder. Every great journey begins with a small step, Liang. Begin by taking time each day to meditate. Sit in a quiet place, like this one, and observe your thoughts without judgment. In time, your mind will find calm, and in that calm, you will discover the truth of who you are. Have you ever tried meditating? Share in the comments how the practice makes you feel. Liang followed the advice of the wise Kavi. Every day he went to the clearing by the river, where the water flowed with a gentle, continuous sound, and sat in meditation. At first his mind was filled with confused thoughts, and restlessness tormented him. But as the days passed, he began to find moments of peace. He felt that something inside him was changing, as if light was starting to filter through the cracks in his soul. As time passed, the villagers also noticed the change in Liang. He was no longer the dejected, silent man who isolated himself from the rest of the world. He now walked with a new serenity. His eyes shone with an inner light, and his face, once marked by sadness, showed a hint of peace. His presence radiated calm and comfort, and many people began to ask him for advice. One day, one of his old comrades in arms, Jiro, came to visit him. Jiro was still deeply rooted in the life of battle and victory. Seeing the change in Liang, he took him aside and said, "Liang, what happened to you? You were once the most feared warrior, but now you seem like a completely different man. Don't you miss the adrenaline of battle?" Liang smiled softly. "Jiro, I once thought that the battle was everything. I thought my strength was my identity. But now I understand that the real battle is within us. I have discovered that peace and joy cannot be found in external victories, but only within ourselves, in the silence of the heart. True peace is not found outside, but within you. If you share this thought, leave a like on this video." Jiro remained silent, pondering those words. Although he didn't show it, something inside him had moved. "And how do you find that peace?" he finally asked, his voice unsteady. "By following the noble eightfold path," Liang replied. "It is a path of discipline and compassion, a path that transforms not only the one who walks it, but also those around him." As the months passed, the change in Liang became obvious to everyone. His transformation wasn't just internal, it began to affect the village as well. People who had known him for a long time began to turn to him for advice, and many joined him in his daily meditations. His spiritual journey became a beacon for the community, and his inner peace began to spread like a flame that illuminated all who met him. Did this story inspire you? Don't forget to subscribe for more content that might help you on your journey of inner growth. One day, while meditating by the river, Liang felt a presence near him. When he opened his eyes, he saw Kavi looking at him with a smile. "Master," Liang said, standing up, "I didn't expect you today." Kavi nodded serenely. "I have come to see the fruits of your labor with my own eyes, Liang. The villagers speak of you with great admiration. Your transformation has inspired many." Liang looked down humbly. "All I have done is follow your teachings, Master. There is still much I do not know, but thanks to you, I have found a path to follow." Kavi looked at him fondly. "You have made great progress, but remember, Liang, the journey never ends. There is always more to learn, always new challenges to face. But now you know that true strength lies not in external battles, but in the peace you cultivate within yourself. Peace is an ongoing journey. Stay tuned for more reflections on the inner journey." Liang nodded, feeling the truth of those words deeply. He knew his spiritual journey was just beginning, but for the first time, he no longer felt alone. With a heart full of gratitude, he knew he could face any challenge life would throw at him, calmly, courageously, and with a peaceful mind.